Political violence in the United States and what to do about it is a big topic of discussion right now. National, state, and local leaders have condemned such acts, but the data shows that political violence is rising in this country. Fox 13's Briona Arradondo joins us now in our newsroom. And Briona, you spoke with a historian about what this means.
Yeah, so that University of South Florida professor tells us the political violence we're seeing today parallels other moments in U.S. history when Americans viewed each other as enemies. The U.S. is reacting to the latest act of political violence. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk being shot and killed Wednesday on a Utah college campus. Historians say our past can tell us a lot about our present.
I think that part of what we're seeing in the United States parallels a few other moments in the U.S. past in which a growing set of Americans began to identify each other as the main enemies that they would face in nearly any context.
University of South Florida history professor Kyle Burke shares some of those major inflection points.
The 1850s in the United States, with debates that ultimately culminated in the Civil War, were marked by escalating violent rhetoric and violent actions on the part of Americans against each other who increasingly imagined that they could not share the same kind of society.
And in the 1960s and 70s, events included the assassinations of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and President John F. Kennedy, along with the Vietnam War.
There are violent groups such as the Klan engaged in vigilante and extra-legal violence. There are groups such as the Students for a Democratic Society who formed the Weatherman organization, which conceived of a kind of revolutionary violence.
Fast forward to the 2020s, the Bridging Divides initiative at Princeton University tracks acts of political violence, including those against local officials.
Just this year, we've tracked 250 incidents of threats and harassment, and that's a 9% increase from last year.
Shannon Hiller is the executive director. She says Kirk's shooting death follows other targeted shootings.
Whether targeting the CDC headquarters just recently or the assassinations in Minnesota just before that.
She says these acts further normalize violence.
We see more and more people willing to use violence as a tool in politics when they disagree, and when others see that happen, they increasingly think that it's acceptable, and that lowers the bar for others using those same tactics.
As for solutions, Hiller says it starts with rejecting political violence without calls for retribution.
The data just doesn't support that this is exclusively a left-wing problem or even exclusively right-wing problem. It's affecting Americans in different ways, but across the board.
And the Bridging Divides initiative at Princeton University also found that local officials that they talked to point to social media dehumanizing other people, the pandemic, and false claims of a stolen election as indicators that added to increased political violence. Chris?
Briona, thank you.